Jeez, these guys have been putting in a lot of work.
Yo, yeah, 75, 64. That's definitely some
not
time.
bad.
I like the Galena pick by Napalm. I'm curious to see how that's utilized.
Yeah, I'm always happy to see her come out. I had a lot of comments about her at QuakeCon last year, and fortunately everybody else's ability has gotten ridiculous enough to match hers, because they're totems that heal. They can be used in a fight, they can be used to trap, they can be used to set up little, recovery pools around the map, and it's a nice little bit of intel you get as well. So it's good all around from Galena.
Round begins in 3, 2.
All right, here we go.
1. Round
Gonna be following up here with Napalm, as he's gonna be spawning top of the map, getting that nail gun. It's not the best place to spawn because now you have that dire orb, but the dire orb goes a little bit wide there, and it showed some restraint from Napalm not throwing his own dire orb out. He just wanted the armor and wanted to get out of there. But so far, he's just wanting to stay top map, avoid any close confrontations, and just get some maybe free damage in before the next items come back up. Oh, he took a ton of LG damage, though. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful going out, for anybody who doesn't, a little newer. You got to be careful going out on that shotgun platform without a lightning gun, or a rail for that matter. He didn't have either gun. But yeah, especially without the lightning gun, because when you run across, as you saw, he just ate that LG from the other platform.
So Napalm being incredibly aware of the ability of Clamp to do damage with that LG. Wants to get some free damage off first before he commits to a fight. There's a long time before this Mega comes back up, and I'm worried that he's going to get baited into making this a much louder fight than it needs to be. Getting stuck down there, getting a lot of damage out of the dire orb, but it's not enough to deal with Clamp's LG.
Yeah, and nice reposition by Clamp. You see the way he a little misses dire orb there, but a nice reposition by Clamp to take the portal and come back from a different angle and high position to challenge him.
Oh, he's caught by the LG once again here. Napalm plus backing it pretty hard, down to 50 health, completely railable, trying to get maybe a 90 damage rail against Clamp as he crosses the map, but at this point, Napalm can only look at these nice tasty items from afar and go, man, wouldn't it be nice if I had a stack? Instead, he's just getting his knees right in the blood. That's enough.
He's in trouble right now.
Really cheeky to put a totem down at the entrance of the teleporter instead of the exit. It's going to be a little bit more guarded there, but if your opponent comes around the corner and they're not paying attention, well, I mean, he really should be. But yeah, there it is. There's the donk on the totem. Gets the free 75 damage, but it comes at a really awkward time for Napalm3D as none of the major items are coming back up, and as Clamp recovers, he's going to be coming right back into control.
Yeah, you can't do that the way Napalm tried to force the issue. Again, well, credit the Clamp, because that's just good LG aim and rail aim too. But two, Napalm shouldn't have been pushing into that area the way he did. Yikes. Even here is just death.
That LG.
Death. You gotta respect the man. Yeah, you gotta respect the man you're playing a little bit here. Clamp has a solid aim, good LG. You can't force your way into him like that. You're just asking to get annihilated.
2, 1.
All right, so a fairly quick first round here going over to Clamp. We're going to have to see how the next one goes. Oh, geez, and it starts off with a bang here. Again, the spawn, both players spawning Ranger, looking across at the Mega. It's always a mosh pit of messiness. I'm not a huge fan, just because they get caught in those situations and they both end up walking away hurting. But it's going to be Napalm hurting a little bit more as he has to take top of the map. Has to be really careful to make sure that Clamp's not there before he starts to recover. But 8 seconds left to Mega. He can go to the Tri-Bolt area and throw down a little bit of spam. He does have weapons, fortunately. I mean, this hasn't been a complete loss for him. He can throw down some spam, but he's also committing to the fight there. Doesn't get any splash out of the dire orb, out of the rockets, out of anything. So this fight for armor is going to be really chancy for him, especially as Clamp's LG once again makes short work of his, well, stack, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, Clamp knows he's got him on the ropes. Again, you got to kind of question some of these pushes from Napalm. I know he's going against a quality opponent, but even more so, when you're going against somebody quality like that, be careful being aggressive.
All right, so Clamp holding on to control here. Oh, but there's the telefrag. Forget about the stack. All you need is a direct hit on that, and perfect timing. So Clamp's Ranger is no more. Napalm finally getting a foothold on the map. However, again, did that turn into anything like the ability to get items? I mean, his timing on the Mega still off he's looking for, it's never going to come. But BJ certainly is. So Clamp now getting back in charge of the map and getting a rail off against the Galena. Make that 2 rails to take Galena down immediately. Swarlag fortunately can take a couple rails off his spawn, but not much more than that. And so if Clamp maintains his momentum here, he's going to be real trouble for Napalm.
Impressive.
Yikes. All right, but oh, can he get through
Oh,
in time?
one
Oh,
health.
with 1 health, the spit wears off.
1 health.
Oh, jeez. He's gonna have to clean his boots off there, but he's still back in this 50 and 25 as armor's taken away by Napalm3D. He's still got 10 seconds before Mega comes back up, so this fight here in Rocket Launcher is a fight that Clamp doesn't even want to happen. It's like, it's not worth it. I can throw off a little bit of spam. I do want the Rocket Launcher. I just don't want to fight there.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing smart, just kind of sneaking around. He just wants his armor. He wants his knife. Surprised he didn't grab the rocket launcher, but he didn't. I guess he didn't want to take a risk of exposing himself to some shots down the alley there.
Oh, here comes the double LG. Is the spit going to be enough to make him back off? Well, yes, but he's still going to get the frag anyway. Geez, a solid 2-0 for Clamp.
Yeah, good positioning there by Clamp. And remember, I was commenting how that's a good spot to LG, and that's when he popped out the double LG. And it's like, here you go. And again, Napalm doing him a little bit of favors, kind of pushing in down these narrow hallways where there's not a lot of room to maneuver.
It's always been one of the most punishable areas, not only in this map, but any Quake map anywhere. I mean, just the amount of spam you can throw up there, getting them pinned up against the back wall on the catwalk. This is so dangerous. And again, Napalm, actually getting it in there. Wow. He's going, I could throw out a little bit of LG as well, you know?
Yeah, that was impressive stream. I think he caught Clamp a little. I think Clamp was even a little surprised there. It looked like, based on how Clamp was playing, he felt like he was pretty safe.
But again, all these fights that Napalm is taking, they don't immediately translate into control. He's having to put in a lot of work just to get every item that he does. And even there, after coming off of a frag like that, he only manages to get the armor, not the Mega. And a lot of that armor is immediately burned off. So he has to be really careful about Clamp's stack here and make sure he gets this first hit.
Yeah, Clamp is just really sharp. You know, he's going to put damage on you, so you got to just play smart, have a stack, and just try to get that first shot in, because he's going to give as good as he gets once you start getting into that equal engagement. So you got to start off with that good shot.
Finally, there's a safe place in the map to wait for items, but items are not. Clamp's LG is just as strong as he runs out of that guns akimbo. There's a nice pickup of the rail to prevent the Galena from getting it very quickly, but close range on the LG, yeah, rockets are just not going to do the trick there. So now 1-on-2 here, as the soar lag from Napalm, it's going to be the last hope.
His lightning gun is very impressive.
Yeah, so solid. You can see that his mouse isn't moving around all that much. He gets a beat on you, and it seems to just get rock solid on there.
Yeah, that's it'd be tough to beat.
Taking a look here at damage, 800 damage to almost 1,300. I want to see those LG stats. 40% for Clamp. Okay, jeez, that's even Quake World good.
Yeah, you're not. Wow, the thing is, it's intimidating too. You know, when you run into somebody like that and you're playing, and you get in these engagements and you start getting into a little lightning gun battle, and you're like, you could feel it in the game. You can really feel it when somebody's put it on you like that, and it adds pressure. It adds, like, you start questioning yourself. You know, you start questioning that confidence. Like, you know, even though it may be a good engagement that you would normally take, you start questioning yourself, thinking, man, can I take this engagement?
I'm sure Napalm is wondering if there's a map that doesn't have LG just yet. Not yet. We're not there. We have a map without rail. Don't have a map without LG. So,
yeah,
gonna have to see what he picks
looks
up
really sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, Napalm was trying his best. Clamp was forcing him into a lot of errors. Like I said, I could tell he was kind of pushing him around with some of the engagements with the LG, and I think that kind of put Napalm on his heels a little bit. And then again, the pressure kind of gets to you, and then you start pushing when you shouldn't push, and maybe retreating when you should push. And like I said, it really starts messing with your psyche as a player.
Absolutely.
When you start running into these issues.
Nothing is more frustrating when you're fighting against an opponent who you're probably evenly stacked with, and you can just, you know, throw rockets and rails from across the room, but you can tell that he just doesn't care that you're shooting at him, because he's just like, I just know I'm going to be hitting a lot more than you. It's pretty devastating. It does, you know, take a toll on, like you said, your psyche.
Yeah, so you just gotta mentally stick with it and try to make the guy work for everything he does, and that's the best way I can say it. You got to make him work. So some of those hallway engagements when he's coming, that's easy for a guy like Clamp. You know, you gotta make it as hard as you can. Make him track you down. Make him come after you. You know, take those backpack roads and play a little avoidance from him until you have a bigger stack. And when you have a bigger stack, then you can kind of push and deal with with somebody who might have, you know, a better aim than you, but because you have the bigger stack, you can kind of deal with that a little better.
But just like
I
in
said,
Quake 2,
easier said than done.
yeah, no kidding, especially with the mechanics of the armor now. I mean, it used to be in Quake 3 and Quake Live that you could pick up, you know, the smaller armors all day and eventually get as much of a stack as your opponent. Here, you no longer have that option. It's going to be all about, you know, making that move on the... It could actually be appropriately called the Mega Armor because it behaves mechanically like a Mega Health. There's just no making up for it otherwise. But here comes our draft picks here, and we're going right back into Sarnath.
Yeah, you got to be, you said, the max stack of the small armors. This is what I enjoy that about the game, the time to kill, because it really puts ambushes in play. You don't have to just run between items. You can set up an ambush at a Mega Health or a heavy armor, and, you know, like you said, the stack. So if you have 120, 130 health, or, you know, you pick up a Mega Health, you're not getting that much out of it. So taking damage after you pick it up is not exactly a great idea. So you got to be careful about running in between items and just running back and forth carelessly.
All right, well, I'm sure they're enjoying this brief respite as we move into Rinse and Sarnath. As we've already commented today, a bit of a different map in terms of pacing and flow, but the trap opportunities are certainly there, and Clamp is already showing off that, yeah, no matter what the map is, my rail is going to be pretty damn dependable. Gonna have to see if Napalm can throw it off.
Yeah, he's showing off some great mouse controls, doing some flick shots for fun. It's a sign somebody's been playing.
Round 1, fight.
Too real to be a nightmare indeed. We're going to be following Clamp as we get started here, as he is not really prioritizing anything other than weapons after getting the armor there. And I really can't blame him. I mean, it's going to keep him at the bottom of the map. He's going to take a Dire Orb back up top just for an opportunity on free damage. The Dire Orb from Napalm doesn't quite meet its mark, but the LG from Clamp, you've heard us say it many times, will.
Yeah, just solid LG by Clamp, starting off about close to 30% there in that initial battle, and again, kind of poor decision making. Napalm pushing the issue there after he took so much damage. He needed to back off.
Man, he's relying on that so much there. I mean, he's down to 6 HP as he's headed down towards armor. Yeah, moving out of there to get health is never all that much fun. I don't blame Clamp for turning back around there. I mean, you have some down towards the eyeball, but it's not fun getting out of there. So he's taken a few safer pickups over by the nail gun, as we finally have Napalm getting his hands on the Mega. But he's going to be a little bit loud moving to this side of the map, and the armor's taken, so Clamp is expecting a fight. It's not going to get one just yet, as we have Napalm back up on the Mega. We have armor coming up as well. If Napalm doesn't really want to show up for that, it could be a trade, but there's a real possibility here that Clamp could steal away both of them. Here's the armor pickup, and they're both going to be moving up towards Mega here. They're both, actually no, yeah, Napalm is taking his way back over through LG. He could come through teleporter, but either way, Clamp can cut him off.
He never grabbed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised there. I don't know what he was thinking.
By all rights, it belonged to Napalm for sure. I mean, I can't really blame him for trying to get a drop on Clamp, but the way he was moving, he didn't really look like he knew where Clamp would be moving. All right, so a bit of a weird fight there down by the armor. Both of them take a bit of damage. They both got to back off here. But I got to hand it to Clamp in terms of being able to time the Mega here.
Yeah, he's going to get this Mega for free. It doesn't seem like, I don't know what Napalm, he's just trying to listen a little bit.
Napalm throwing out a little bit of chat there. Yeah. All right, so they're both going quiet, just listening to the soothing sounds of the rain. It's going to be Clamp diving down for armor, though, as Mega is 5 seconds away. Clamp is going to be very loud moving into it. He's going to eat a little bit of spam here. There's the rail coming out of Napalm. But, man, he's just going, who needs other weapons when all you need is an LG? I mean, he's down to 53 health. If Napalm can find him very quickly off the spawn, something could happen here. But it's not going to happen.
Ooh, good rail there, but Napalm. But he's just pushing. Said he's pushing in spots where it's clear that Clamp has a superior, armor and health stack, and he's pushing anyway, and he's definitely running into problems because of that. Besides the fact that Clamp's LG is disgustingly good.
All right, so 3 minutes knocked off, but Napalm, I mean, he's down to only mixed now. 2 minutes is a longer time here in Quake Champions than it was in previous games, but it's never been that long of a time. All right, so Clamp Back up top map looking for a little bit of the ambush. Actually completely jukes out Napalm, and he's actually wondering, oh, I thought you saw me. I thought you wanted to fight. And really, it's got to be Napalm to get some aggression going here. And in the meantime, Clamp is more than happy just to take free items.
He needs a frag here in probably the next 30 seconds to really have a shot.
Is this going to be an aggressive Ghost Walk? Nope, he's using it to get out of there, but popping the Ghost Walk means he doesn't really have the opportunity to make anything else happen there. So there we have it, 1-0 for the first round. And like we anticipated, Sarnath is a little bit more of a drawn-out fight. But there we have it.
Yeah, how did he suicide? I was looking at Clamp. I didn't see. You noticed he suicided there at the end. He must have shot a rocket in our
I didn't have my camera on him, but I'm a little bit sad that it happened. I think that last minute had some treats ready for us, but Clamp apparently is so good he doesn't even need to fight his opponent. Oh, he's taking a lot of damage here, though. He's dealing with the pressure fairly well just by being ready for a rail and juking out a few of them. Diving back down for an LG. He knows he needs one of those to come back into this mega.
Yeah, Clamp was just trying to land that one good shot there with the rail because he knew it would kind of turn that battle into his favor. So that's why he was willing to take that risk of standing there and get some damage.
Jeez. And he actually commits to the teleporter. Holy crap. He didn't really need to do that either. He's just so confident in his aiming ability, but they both got to back off here, and neither of them are doing all that well. The next rail could change things around as Napalm finally gets his mark on the board here. Only 50 health, though. He's actually not doing all that well himself. He's got to spend some time in recovery mode, which means that this mega might be a little bit risky. Now he actually manages to get out of there without Clamp breathing down his neck, something I'm sure he's appreciative of. Yeah,
Clamp's just looking to get his heavy armor. He knew they were both relatively close together, so he just wanted to make sure he gets one of the two.
Can't blame him. And we have traded rails. Oh, look at this. Napalm3D with 86 health going. Yeah, it's worth sticking around, but against the double LG, cannot get the Dire Orb past his opponent far enough to avoid that fight. Nice.
Good push by Clamp there. You just think about just peeking and getting out.
Clamp really doesn't need to aggress here, but he doesn't want to keep a hold on this armor. It may turn into a trade, but we actually see Napalm moving back over towards LG, so they might find each other here over by the nail gun. No, once again, Napalm is really sticking on the underside of the map a lot. I'm not sure what that's really getting him at this point.
The item management, again, you can kind of tell he didn't really have an idea that Mega Health was next. I think he lost track of what was coming up.
And compared to Quake Live with the 25-35 item timing, they're both 30 seconds here. So all you need to do is go, all right, this item was taken, the other item's coming up next. There's no, there's no items coming up at the same time just because they get in sync. But it's going to be double BJ, double weapons, quadruple weapons, in fact. But it's going to be the LG from Clamp finishing him off there.
Yeah, so just had a superior stack, even though he came up the, this pad. He's just firmly in control right now. Oh, he's going to have to Ghost Walk. Yep.
Not bad, not bad. But again, all he had at the end of that Ghost Walk was a railgun, so there's not a whole lot for him to do. He actually managed to get out of there for free. You saw Clamp OK hearing him going down below, and is ready for that next fight. And there it is, 2-0. Last chance here for Napalm3D.
Prepare to fight.
It's not looking good. Clamp's looking extremely strong. He's muscling. He's making great decisions. Napalm's kind of his item management seems a little bit off. Like it could be partly due to the pressure Clamp was putting on him. Of course, like I said, the lightning gun is really intimidating, and got to give credit for Clamp. He's looking really sharp.
And in the meantime, have we been seeing Napalm3D kind of respond? We're seeing a lot of similar plays out of him. He's expecting a lot of fights in the back stairway between LG and Armor, and he's just not getting the fights that he wants from Clamp.
Yeah, that's just the decision making. These little decisions you make in terms of who's getting superior position, and that's the name of the game, and it puts you in position where your weapon, oh my goodness, like see how he's jumping.
Oh,
jeez. I mean, his LG is good enough. Okay, so this is what I'm going to point out. Like, Clamp's LG is good enough already where if you're trying to strafe left and right and just dodge him already, he's still going to put some work on you. But see how he was jumping out across those platforms there by Mega Health. Now you're in a straight trajectory. You really can't maneuver any other direction. He's just going to pin you, and you can see it right there. He just destroyed him.
Look, he got
jumping into the room again.
Yeah.
Jumping into the room, straight trajectory jump. Pin. I mean, like I said, his LG is disgusting. Don't help the man out.
And once again, he's relying on it here, just making the slow push forward after taking away that Mega. He can go get armor for free. I'm not seeing Napalm move, though. Let me switch over to him and see what's going on. All right, he's back on this. He's at 50 health. It's not looking all that great. He has to survive this next rocket even. With 1 HP, he's there, but not for long. So that will indeed be Clamp okay, doing more okay. Napalm3D, well, today at least he's a little bit more Napalm 2D.
Yeah, he's got a little work to do. Strong player, you can tell. Like the Clamp is no joke. So, I mean, first you got to recognize who he's playing. But the LG damage from Clamp, I mean, look at that, 1365 compared to 217 from Napalm. I mean, that's just brutalization right there in regards to LG fights. So